What's up, guys? I'm back playing some 5-5-10 at the Gardens, so wish me luck and hit that intro. Cheers.
With the guy Brantzen, who has the Brantzen poker logs.
No! Let's go!
Tell him he's got a lot of class, and it's all low.
The 5-5-10 at the Gardens, in my opinion, is one of the wildest games in LA. This is due to the buy-in structure and the fact that every new player and every new dealer is a bomb pot. I typically buy in for $500 for the first bomb pot, so I have the option to play it aggressively without having to lose a full stack. My session today started with 2 bomb pots in a row for new player and new dealer, and in the second one, I pick up King 3 of diamonds on the button. We all put $25 into the middle, and the flop comes Jack 9 deuce with 2 diamonds. A player from early position bets $100, the Lojack calls. And okay, this is why I buy in short. I have a king high flush draw. I rip my whole stack in for $450. Hopefully everyone folds, but I should have a good amount of equity against most hands. Well, the under the gun player to my left shoves for $350. That's probably not good. The early position better calls and the Lojack folds. There's over $1,500 in the middle. I'm hoping for a diamond, turn 4 of spades, river 2 of hearts. I brick out, and the guy to my left shows pocket 9s for a full house. My brain reacts by insta-folding my king high, but as you might have already guessed, I forgot about the $200 side pot. The early position player then flips over queen 10 off for a missed straight draw. So he wins the side pot with queen high, which I would have won the side pot with king high. And the other guy wins the main with a full house. You ever accidentally thrown away $200? You know how stupid you feel? Just thrown away in the trash can, have to go home to little Timmy, tell him why you can't buy him a new bike. Because I gave it to a trash can. A trash can! Okay, but seriously, I was quite frustrated at myself for mucking the winning hand, but moving on to my next buy-in, I win a small bomb pot with trip kings with a bet on the turn, and then I pick up pocket jacks in the straddle. The under the gun limps, the Lojack limps, the hijack, button, small blind, big blind, they all limp. It looks like they're trying to throw a cheap party, and I'm invited. Well, the party's over, boys. I raised to $110 to narrow the field, or just pick up the dead money now. The under the gun and Lojack decide to come along. We're 3 ways to a flop of 8-6-3 rainbow. And apart from sets, I should have the best hand right now because there aren't really any 2 pairs. So I bet $120. I want to charge any lower pocket pairs, any single pair hands, and because the board isn't too connected, there's no need for a large bet sizing. Well, both my opponents fold and I take it down. A bit later, I have ace-7 off in the straddle, the hijack limps, the small blind and big blind limp. Alright, it's time for you guys to see how I play the rare limp pot. I often avoid limp pots unless I'm in the blinds, but here we are, we're 4 ways to a flop of 6-7-8 with 2 hearts, the small blind and big blind check with a pair of 7s and top kicker. I think it's a pretty good chance I have the best hand here. I bet $10. It's a joke of a bet, but it should still accomplish the job. People typically aren't attached to their hands in limp pots, so if they missed completely, they should just fold, and if they want to raise, I can get away cheaply, no problem. The small blind calls my $10 bet, and everyone else folds. When the small blind just calls, I put him on a 1-pair hand or draw most likely. The turn is the 3 of hearts, the small blind checks, and if he had a flush draw, he just made a flush, so I just check back here. The river is a queen, the small blind checks again. So I think that people like getting paid. I doubt he would check again with a flush. Holding 3rd pair, this is a pretty easy check back. But I really feel like I have the best hand here. I bet $10. Another joke of a bet, but I think he'll call any pair out of sheer curiosity. Instead, he raises to $75. I probably should have just checked back here. But let's think about this one. If he flopped 2 pair or better, he likely would have raised me on the flop. Like I said earlier, when he checks turn and river, I doubt he has a flush, but it could be a slow played flush. Or maybe he's just trying to force me out because my $10 bet looks so weak here. I don't really know, but his story doesn't make that much sense to me. And when the story doesn't make sense, my curiosity starts tingling. I toss in the call. He says, good call, and flips over Jack 6, turning his hand into a bluff, and I win the pot. So all in all, I definitely could have just checked back the river for an easier time, but hey, I made an extra $75. Let's see if I can win with Ace-7 again. This time it's suited and I'm in the hijack. The under the gun limps and I raise it up to $45. Well, the cutoff, straddle, and under the gun limper call were 4 ways to a flop of 7-7-3 with 2 hearts. Holy cow, I flop trips with top kicker. Action checks to me. When I bet on a paired board, I typically choose a small sizing, and I'm not going to change that just because I have a monster. I bet $50 and only the cutoff calls. The turn is the 10 of clubs, bringing a second flush draw, and now I have a decision to make. There's around 280 in the pot. My opponent has a little less than 400 in his stack. I debate what sizing is best, but ultimately, with 2 flush draws out there, I just rip it all in. I don't want to give draws a great price, and maybe it'll look like I'm trying to put max pressure with a draw myself. Too bad, the cutoff folds, and I take it down. Next hand. Okay, back to a bomb pot. I have Jack 8 off in early position. The flop comes out 8-3 deuce rainbow. I have top pair with a decent kicker. I start out with a bet of $75. The middle position player calls, but then the button rips his short stack of $250 all in. The button just bought in for $300 a couple hands ago, and just like me, I think most people who start short stacked are looking to rip it in with any decent hand because of the money in the middle. I think he's making this move with any 8 or better, as well as 4-5 for a straight draw. I think my hand does pretty well against the range of hands he's making this play with. However, there's still the problem of the middle position player left to act behind me. He could also have a better hand than me, and if we both call, we're going to be playing quite a big pot here. Time for an unorthodox play. Instead of just calling the 175 more, I raise to $475 total. This move should look incredibly strong, and I really don't think the middle position player will be able to continue with anything less than 2 pair, which he most likely would have raised anyway. Well, I accomplished my goal. The middle position folds. The board runs out deuce 4, but unfortunately the button has ace 8 offsuit, and we lose anyway. Bad result, but let me know what you think of the play overall. Oh, also, shout out Poker Taco. Poker Taco, he likes poker, he likes tacos. Poker Taco. After that, I have a few nice hands where I miss the flop and give up, bringing me to our next big hand. I pick up the Lucky Snowman under the gun, and I open to $35. The cutoff and straddle call were 3 ways to a flop of 8-6-5 rainbow. I'm a family man, and my little snowmen just found their long-lost brother. It's nothing short of a Christmas miracle in October. Anyway, the straddle checks. I decide to check for deception, and also because this board shouldn't connect with my range very well. The cutoff checks too, and we're off to an ace on the turn. This is a perfect card for a couple reasons. First, everyone should expect me to bet on an ace because it hits my range as the pre-flop raiser, so they might call a little light. Second, by having a set of 8s, it makes it more likely one of my opponents actually has the ace, making it even more likely I'll get action. The straddle checks, and I bet $75, about 3/4 of the pot. The cutoff calls the bet, and we're heads up to a river card, which comes a board pairing 6. Perfect! I bet big $300 and music to my ears when my opponent goes all in. I call, my opponent shows queen 6 off for river trips, and I take down a massive pot. Let's keep building this stack. I pick up 9-10 of spades in the Lojack and open to $45. It's a bit bigger than normal because the guy I just stacked missed a few hands getting some more money, so he had to post $20. For the sake of this vlog, I'm going to call him Willie because this man came back steaming. Anyway, Willie makes the call from the cutoff, the straddle calls as well, and we're 3 ways to a flop of 9-5-7 rainbow. The straddle checks, I have top pair, but my hand is very vulnerable to future turns and rivers, so I definitely want to bet. I make it $50, but then Willie raises to 200. The straddle folds. I think good old steaming Willie is gonna make this move with plenty of worse hands than mine. He only has $345 total in his stack, so I go all in. Willie calls, the board runs out king, queen, and Willie flips over queen 5 offsuit for a river 2 pair. Pretty unfortunate run out, but at least I got it in as a heavy favorite. Just kidding, it's not the end of the adventures of Willie and Brantzen just yet. This time, Willie double straddles to $20. It folds to me on the big blind, I have pocket 5s, and I make it $75 being out of position of my opponents. The straddle calls, and Willie calls from the double straddle, 3 ways to a flop of jack, deuce, 3 with 2 hearts. I could definitely have the best hand here with only 1 card bigger than a 5, so I c-bet $90, and Willie makes the call. The turn is an 8. I think we have plenty of showdown value here, beating any 2, 3, or draw, but I don't want to blow this pot size out of proportion, so I just check, and Willie checks back. The river comes the 8 of hearts, pairing the board and completing the flush. I check, hoping for a free showdown. Willie checks back, I show my cards, and they are good. It's getting near the end of the night, but the last couple hands are big ones, so stick around. I pick up ace-king off on the cutoff. There's a $20 straddle, the hijack limps, and I raise to $85. Then the small blind goes all in for $925, and it folds back to me. Oh man, I hate this spot. I've seen this player make huge all-in shoves 3 or 4 times today, but I've never seen anyone with the balls to call them, so I don't know exactly what he's doing this with. I have one of the best hands in poker, but this is a massive shove. What do? Do I risk it? What would you guys do? Eventually, I decide, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I go all in, and of course he has pocket kings. My heart sinks, but come on, ace 1 time. The board runs out 6, 7, deuce. No luck. Come on, ace. Ace. Turn. Queen. River. 7. Unfortunately, we don't get lucky, and I lose a pretty huge pot. Final hand of the vlog, I pick up 5, 6 of diamonds in the hijack and open to $35. The cutoff and small blind call, but hey, it wouldn't be a good finale if Willie didn't join us. Willie makes the call from the big blind. We're 4 ways to a flop, which comes deuce, 3, 7 with 2 hearts, and Willie decides to lead out for $50. I'm in position of him with a gut shot, and I decide to make the call. It's a little loose of a call, especially since I don't have a backdoor flush draw, but I've played quite a few hands with this player, so here we go. Everyone else folds. We're heads up to a turn, which comes in offsuit 10. Willie continues betting for $100. I think he has a lot of flush draws here, some 7s that don't know what to do, some middling pocket pairs, and maybe some sets and odd 2 pairs. I decide to put him to the test. I raise to $300. If he has 2 pair or a set, he'll most likely re-raise me, but hopefully I put all other holdings in a very difficult spot. After some thinking, Willie makes the call, and we're off to a river, which comes another 7. Willie checks, and now I have a big decision to make. Like I said, I think 2 pair or better would have jammed the turn on me, and if he had a 7, I could easily see him leading this river to prevent it from going check-check. Okay, 6 high is never going to win here. I'm going with my read and targeting missed flush draws and middling pocket pairs. I go all in for $700. Willie pauses, then folds. We get the bluff through. Let's go. And soon after that, I rack up and cash out. Okay, you guys, so that one was a really interesting session. I started off the day losing in a bomb pot with a missed flush draw, and I mucked the winning hand for the side pot for $200 extra that I would have gotten back as a rebate. So that was definitely tilting, starting off stuck for the day. And I came back, ran pretty hot, had that big hand with pocket eights, and got unstuck, made quite a bit of profit. It was just like kind of a roller coaster. Then I got into a big hand, right, ace king, and I called off an all in for, $2,000 pot, and they had kings. And so I was stuck again. And then finally, that last spot with 5-6 of diamonds. Ooh, it was scary, but I was going back and forth with that player all night, and I just felt like it was that rounders moment, It's like just this time, like this moment right here, I'm just gonna outplay him, and I just decided, and I felt like it was a good spot, and so I had that big river jam, and I got through. With that, let's talk about the numbers. I was in the game for 1,400 total, up and down, and I cashed out for 1,489. No, 1,479 for a profit of $79. But I mean, honestly, it doesn't feel so bad because I got unstuck twice. So there you go. But I think overall I played pretty decent. And anyway, I'm Brantzen, and I'll see you in the next one.